She leaned in and pressed a kiss onto my forehead. Hello?
We're born in the moonlight. Ain't no fantasy. Can't breathe in the sunlight.
Hello, beautifuls. This is Aromie here. Welcome back, Changeling. Sorry, I ate Oreo just now. By the way, the mint one. Pretty lit. Aria thinks it's her dog treats, so she's looking at me over there. Anyway, we're here. I'm gonna die. Apparently so. Sorry, that's about... Oh, I already read that. Well, I can definitely feel the impurities in there. It's pretty bad. Everyone keeps saying that. I was going to say nauseating. Oh, there's a new one. Two points for creativity. I mean, my character is pretty optimistic right now, even though, you know, she could die. Corbin, what do you think? You have more experience with miasma infection. You want to take a look? Not to complain here, but none of you are doing anything. You're just touching me. We're not looking with our eyes. We're capable of sensing this stuff, you know? You're the worst patient. Sorry, have it. Corbin set his hand on my stomach and I tried to glare at him just to dissuade him from doing anything weird, but couldn't quite muster the energy. Instead, I tried to focus on anything other than how awkward it was to have him touching my stomach. I'm not entirely sure what's going on here. There are any signs of infection in her physical body, but her soul definitely has a severe infection. That's what I thought, but I wondered if maybe I was just seeing it wrong. As a fae, her body would have a natural ability to purify the miasma completely, but instead it settled into her soul. Just mine. Corbin looked a little startled. I mean, my situation's a little weird, so there may be two of us lurking around in here. Corbin yanked off his glasses and this time looked long and hard at me, staring into my eyes. Two souls. There really are two of them, aren't there? They're partially entwined, that's for sure. I can't see much more without Finn, though. Damn it! I thought that was the case, but when I looked earlier, I didn't see the other one. She must be trying to hide her presence. Can you maybe explain what's going on? I mean, I know I'm apparently dying and all, but we've been looking into this for days. You're a changeling. Oh. Well, I kind of thought it might be something like that. That was the conclusion you came to. Well, with the revelation about the Fairy Hill, my coming to some kind of agreement with them, it did seem like it was something along those lines. Even Spencer pointed out the similarities. Fairy Hill. The short version is that fairies kidnapped her brother and wouldn't let him go, so Michi could agree to take his place. Their memories of that event were sealed. We kind of came to the conclusion she might be stuck in a fae body, but didn't really have the details. So you managed to work that much out on your own, with William's help. And Spencer and Allie. Still confused as to why I'm in the wrong body? Well, we might want to save this lengthy explanations for a better time. For now, there are bigger issues to deal with. The dying thing is a bit more pressing, what do you say? Oh, hey! It's Merle. The door burst open. Another familiar face showed up, apparently in the nick of time. I hoped, because I was starting to feel really woozy. Merle! Thank God, you're late. Sorry, it's been a while since I had to do a house call. They gave him a super rich version of everything. Corbin's face was pretty grim as Merle crouched next to me to take a look, which apparently meant touching my stomach and staring at me really hard. Magic is dumb. This is pretty serious. You understand that, right? Yeah, I've been told. It's more complicated because of your specific situation. Oh, you mean the fact that I'm apparently possessing a stupid kidnapping Michiko. So I'm kind of annoyed right now. Possessing. I wouldn't exactly say it's possession, really. It's more like your soul has been stitched into that body using some pretty complex magic. Makes me sound like some kind of weird Frankenstein monster. You're not a monster exactly. Look, the miasma infection has started to spread through both souls. I suspect that she can't purify it out of her own properly due to your presence and the way her soul has gotten partially merged with yours. But your soul is significantly worse off, and if all I do is try to purify it out, I'm worried I may end up cementing your soul to hers permanently. So what do we do if you can't purify it either? There are two options. Rather than trying to purify anything, I could try to do a full restoration. Basically undo the stitching that has been stuck in that has you stuck in that body and completely return your soul to the state it was in before the fae messed with it. If I do that, you should automatically be returned to your real body. A forced separation would also automatically sever the Changeling contract and force them to return you. The drawback is that restorations are complicated on their own, and now I've got 2 souls to contend with. I've never tried anything quite like this before. And the second option? He isn't really making me feel comfy right now. You try to convince that Fae to sever the contract on her own. With you in that body, you're both in danger of dying. Once you're separated, purifying an infection like this won't be too difficult. But there's no guarantee that'll work. I don't even know how to talk to her. That's right, and Fae are tricky. There's a good chance that she'll try to find a way to wriggle out of this one, or wriggle out of this without returning you. Then shouldn't we let you do it? I have to warn you, the price of a restoration like this is going to be steep. Very. Oh, come on. She's dying. You're going to quibble about payment? I mean, that's reality, to be honest. Hospitals and doctors and everything, you have to pay a lump sum if you want to stay alive. We don't ignore balance. We can't. Payment is part of the process. Come on, Merle. Can't you just waive the price this time? Not for something this big, Corvin. You know I can't. Is this where you ask for my chocolate stash? I wish it was that simple. I'll do it. I'll pay it. Whoa, 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 pretty boy. No, you're not paying shit. Alright? This is my problem. I did it because I wanted to be a superhero. Everyone went silent when he spoke. His voice was quiet, resolute, and he was looking at Merle with a very determined expression. I struggled to sit up. No way, William. This is... I gasped at the pain returned and spots swam in front of my eyes. Michiko! He crouched next to me, watching my face worriedly. Let me do this. Please, let me help you. I want to do this. This is roles reversed, because I remember when I was the one begging to help him. I didn't know if I should. It was my life, letting him pay some kind of price for me. I didn't like that. Okay. Tell them you'll pay the price yourself. Tell them you want to convince Real first. Ask Merle. No. Let me convince the girl inside of me before we talk about payment, okay? I want to try to convince her, the fairy, before we talk about payments and who is paying what. I want to try to convince her to let me go. You know you don't have a lot of time. I'm a healer, not a miracle worker. If the necrosis settles in much further, even I won't be able to help you. I'm not afraid to pay you what you want, but I feel like I need to do this. You made a bargain. They're not going to just let you go back on it. Then maybe she'll let me make another one. She gets her life and I get to go free. You just have to promise me that you won't let her leave if she refuses. Shelly, do we have something that we can use to keep her in here so she doesn't try to escape the moment she's awake? I do have some St. John's wort. It kept Michiko contained in her room, so it might keep a Fae trapped in here. You also have me. I'm not sure St. John's wort is going to be as effective as you think, but I'll be here to stop her, too, whoever she is. Alright, I think I can help the two of you communicate. It'll be similar to how it was before, Michiko. I nodded, wincing slightly at the movement. As the movement sent pain through my head. I'm ready. He lowered himself down by the head of the sofa and set one hand on my forehead, and then everything went black. It wasn't like before. Oh my god, I'm in a daze. I was alone in darkness, confused, and trying to figure out what was happening. As soon as things went black, she was there, looking at me expectantly. Hi, pretty lady. Oh, you're scratched up. Was your clothes always like that? So you're here again. Well, I mean, I've been here. I apparently live here now, thank you very much. What is this? What's happening out there right now? You don't know. Well, I guess it makes sense since I also don't know what you're up to when you're in control, but I guess I kind of assumed, since this is your body. It was so weird being face to face with her. It was weird how much she looked like me. Why do we look alike if she's using glamour to look like me? That's weird. It was weird conversing with her so casually. The infection is making it difficult for me to see clearly what's going on outside. In case you haven't noticed, we're dying. You and me, together, both of us. Hey, though I reckon you'll die first. Maybe, Captain? I'll die first. How does that work? How do I die without you dying? Do you truly want an explanation for that? No. My point is, enough of this. Send me back. Undo whatever you've done to me. You think our contract is void simply because we're dying? Well, wasn't the whole point of this for you to take me back to Fairy with you? Hard to do that if I'm dead. It's also difficult to do it if I let you go. She tipped her head back, regarding me curiously. It was so weird. My throat! She looks too much like me. It's creepy. Why don't you stop fighting so hard and come with me willingly? You did promise after all. I don't want to. I made that promise when I was like 7. Do you think your age invalidates our agreement? The fact that I was desperately trying to get my brother back should. She just shrugged casually, uncaring as if it didn't matter to her in the slightest that she'd taken advantage of 2 scared children. He entered our domain on his own, ate our food willingly, and you willingly agreed to take his place. A life for a life. Then how about we make another exchange? Also a life for a life. Mine for yours. Because if you don't let me go, they won't let you go. Then we'll both die. She just laughed. Do you believe those fools can hold me here? Hey, St. John's warts can keep you in my room. I was in human form, living under a human roof. My powers are nearly halved. Don't think that will be the case here. You think you can go against 2 witches, 2 wizards, and a really strong psychic? I don't believe any of them would stand there and watch you die with me. And I won't stand by and watch you become food for that wolf in sheep's clothing. Whatever that means. Merle can still help me, you know, even if you won't. And you're ready for him to take everything from you. Your memories, your love, everything you hold dear. Those are the things they deal in, you know. Deal with that flock of greedy crows, and you won't have anything left when they're done. Well, last round he only asked for a painting, so that was pretty nice. The same is true if I go with you. If I lose everything either way, I would rather stay. I'm not putting my family through me vanishing again. I'm not giving up just because you say so. You manipulated me when I was a child. Not this time. Bitch. To my surprise, she smiled. It was a strangely gentle expression. She reached for me and I flinched, but there was nowhere to go. She leaned in and pressed a kiss onto my forehead. Hello? I love forehead kisses, but, what are you doing? I instantly drooped. Everyone come with heavy sleep. You grew up well. Wait, what? And that was the last thing I remembered. Oh, what? You just decided to what? At some point during the conversation, Michiko seemed to fall into a deep sleep. Her appearance just slowly faded into someone who wasn't quite Michiko anymore. When her eyes opened, William moved away from her quickly and the others gathered together, unsure what to expect. Oh, I turned into her. Real took over. She looked at each of them one by one, then finally settled for speaking to Allie. The child will be returned. You can find her whoever first picked her up. Just like that. You're helping her on your own? Why? This child. I have no intentions of handing her over to that cocky Raiden. She shot a look at William, who was also watching silently, or anyone else. She's stubborn, but I believe that if I give her up willingly now, she may yet come to us on her own. After all, our ways have always been in her blood. She said nothing before anyone could do anything to her. She was passing through the door into the hall, and she was gone. I felt like I was flying. It was dark and there was cold air all around me. There were voices, singing sad. I couldn't understand them at all. Then they faded and I found myself standing in the woods with gray daylight slowly fading. I felt strange, sore, dizzy. It's not even Halloween yet, broski. So tired. How did I get here? Where was I just now? I didn't know. Hello? I shivered into the cold air, looking around as I tried in vain to remember where I was and how I'd gotten there. It was pouring rain and that was the only sound I could hear around me. Hello? Calm before the storm. Now it's October 31st, Halloween. You're so lucky we found you as quickly as we did. Here, coffee, straight from the murder. I reached a hand out from the blanket around my shoulders, quickly pulling the cup back to where it was warm. Thanks. Still cold. I nodded as I wrapped my hands around the paper cup, trying to hold it as close as possible to absorb some of the warmth. Allie was standing quietly behind me, toweling my hair dry. My stupidly long hair was frizzing to eternity as we spoke. I was cold, still damp, and I'd spent the better part of the evening wandering around the woods, completely freaked out and trying to piece together my choppy memories. But I was safe and feeling a little better. And back in the club room, I was finally able to remember everything that had been happening within the past week, I guess. I shot a weary smile to William, who was sitting next to me, hands balled up on his lap. I still haven't thanked you, William. That's right. Without him, there's no way we'd have found you so fast. You don't have to thank me for that. I'm just glad I was able to locate you from here. How? That's a strong-ass telepathy. He was still confined to the club room, but I had to admit I was more and more impressed with his psychic abilities. Even from here, he was able to sense and tell them my location. So you still don't remember anything between losing consciousness here and waking up in the woods? I shook my head, taking a careful sip of the hot coffee. No, I think that most everything else has come back. At first everything was kind of jumbled. I had plenty of time to work everything out by the time you guys found me. I've never been so glad to see anyone in my life. I'm just really glad we found you. It's so weird to have this vague memory of someone singing, and then I was just standing in the woods, stupidly yelling hello as if someone was going to answer. At least you're safe now. Yeah. I wasn't expecting a choice here, but okay. I just wish I knew why this happened to begin with. I still have a lot of answers I need to find. This is a good choice. I still have so many questions I need answers to. Like what? Like why all this happened in the first place? It's all good and well to stand back, and the contract was broken. And I get why the contract happened, though I still think it's pretty awful to take advantage of kids. But why go to all the trouble with soul swapping instead of just kidnapping me like normal people? Not that I wanted to be kidnapped at all, but sheesh, fairies were weird. And not just that, I mean, Spencer and I were able to see fairies our whole lives. I think, had they always been targeting us even before he went into the fairy hill. That fairy real, she hinted that might be the case, which is why now that you're back, you really should be careful about poking into Fae affairs. They took you once, they might be tempted to do it again if you give them a chance. I don't want to make myself a target, I'm just confused. Kaya did at least tell us that the soul swapping is because they use the victim's soul as camouflage so they can more easily pass for human. A lot of changelings were murdered in the past once they were discovered, and the children they kidnapped would have to be sent back. It's a more complex process, but it has a higher chance of success. Keeping your soul here also keeps your life force from being diminished by spending all those years in fairy. Ugh, yeah, I wasn't thrilled with finding out I may have been mutated by all that fairy magic. Man, I feel like I need to write a book about this stuff. If all this soul swapping nonsense had been in some of the books we read, spilling their secrets in writing is a surefire way to rile them up again. And I mean it when I say you shouldn't poke it any further. Humans who poke themselves too far into the supernatural tend to meet with ill fates. I shot him a curious look. That was a strange thing coming from him. He was pretty much completely immersed in this stuff. You're safe again. That's what matters. I feel weirdly normal for having gone through a couple of body transfers, and apparently having been mutated by fairy magic over the last few years. Your hair is really long now, though. That, at least, is some kind of evidence that something weird happened. Guess the Fae weren't much for giving haircuts. Could be worse, it could be trailing to the ground. If it was that long, you guys might have found me swinging through the trees with it. I rubbed my head and sighed softly. Are you okay? Yeah. I shot him what I hope was a confident smile. I still just have a bit of a head fog. It's to be expected. You just went through a pretty serious ordeal. Miasma infection, sudden body swapping, being transported through space-time by fairies. Yeah, when you put it like that, sounds pretty weird. What happened with that thing anyway? The trudge thingy. Is it really safe here? I kind of blacked out toward the end of that fight. I just remembered it hitting me. Then I hit William. Then we both hit the wall. Yeah, I showed up right after that and it was gone. So it vanished on its own after it attacked you. It must have been tired. After the confrontation with that masked spirit, I mean. I shot him another look. Suddenly remembered that he called that masked ghost his mother. I didn't feel I could ask about that with everyone here, though. Yeah, Viola showed up right after the Fae departed. Ryul. It's the fairy's name. I remember at least that much about her. Ah, well, after she left, Viola showed up. William had to catch him up on everything that happened. Since we already had a good idea of where you were, thanks to William, he stayed and amplified the barrier in the club room. Combined with what Shelley, Corbin, and I had previously done, it's pretty good now. Yes, it would be very difficult for something to successfully attack from the outside now. Even though it's legit Halloween now, which is like the worst possible day. They also doubled the agents guarding the mines, so hopefully nothing will sneak past this time. That's good to know. There hasn't been any further sign of it since you two encountered in the hall. They're hoping it's either given up for this year or maybe the fight with the masked ghost expended enough energy that it retreated. I hope so too. Well, I think I'm gonna head out now. It's stupidly late, or rather early rather, and I have a pretty big day of running around yelling at cryptics to stop causing trouble, so yeah, go sleep. Thanks for finding me before there were search parties and news articles this time, and saving me from the evil thing attacking the club room, and healing me so my soul didn't necrotize, and getting my real body back. You know, all that. No problem. All in a day's work. Yeah, the last part is kind of what scares me. This stuff doesn't really just happen all the time, does it? Not all the time. Like once a month or something? That's still pretty often. They said goodbye and left quickly. It all felt rather anticlimactic. All in a day's work, huh? I fell back against the sofa, pulling my knees up into the blanket. William was still sitting next to me, his back straight and expression serious. Can I ask you something now that the others are gone? We didn't get a chance to talk about this before. Yes. When you saw that masked ghost, you said it was your mother. He gave me a quick look and then looked away again. I saw his teeth flash out over his lips. I think it was, even if I couldn't see her face, that feeling was the same. We haven't had time to look for her because of what happened to you, but guess things she'll resurface tomorrow since there'll be so many more haunts to target. So it really was her. I didn't know what to say to that. How did you respond to someone telling you their mother had become a ghost? Not even just a ghost, but some kind of vengeful spirit. At least now we understand the motives for attacking the spirits. She hated spirits. She must still hate them. I imagine she wants to see them gone forever. I just don't know why she'd come all the way to Pine Hollow to kill the ones here. There are so many at the hospital. Maybe you're misunderstanding her? Maybe she's killing those ghosts so then you can have a normal life? Maybe? Maybe you're misunderstanding what she was doing. What do you mean? Well, she came all the way to Pine Hollow to clear out haunts, and she cleared out your chorus. She even tried to take on that ancient drudge thingy. A peculiar look flashed over his face, and he quickly looked away. I imagine that was something he wasn't something he wanted to talk about. The point is, maybe she's not just taking out some grudge on spirits. Maybe she's protecting you, or trying to in her own way. You seem surprised by the very possibility. Do you think that's true? I think some of her actions don't make sense unless you look at it through that lens. I mean, why did she help me get out of that storage closet? Why was she even around to do it? It was like she was watching and immediately jumped in to help. And she only has one reason to help me. Because of you. Because of me, but I thought Spencer hated me too, but in the end we just misunderstood each other. I'm sure her feelings for you are more complicated than you realize. She's your mother. I really don't think she could hate you that easily. But still, to help me by attacking others, I don't want her to do something like that. Maybe you can help her after this is all over. I don't know if I'll be able to. You can worry about that later. For now, you should just try to rest. It's been a really, really long day. Oh shit, it's been a really, really long episode. Oop. At least for now, we know the club is safe. And hey, I'm not dying, so that's good. And that's where we're gonna end the episode off, because I didn't realize the freaking time. But anyway, so far everything seems very nice, very sweet. Hopefully we see his mom again. His mom's quite scary. But she's been protecting us in her own special way. And she can't really talk to us because it sounds like scratches, so that sucks. I mean, can she write? Can she write something for us? I don't know. But anyway, thank you guys for watching today's episode. Stay beautiful, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
Touch it,